Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sketchbox grab box unboxing. That was a lot of boxes. And anyway, Sketchbox does this grab box every once in a while, I think to kind of get rid of some of their extra supplies from the past year. And it's a special promotion, $80 worth of supplies for $49.99 US dollars. Um, so here we go. I opened it up and this gorgeous purple Fabriano sketchbook was on top. I'm a little disappointed that it was bent from being in a small box, but it did flatten out afterwards after I put some heavy stuff on top of it. So if you get one of these, don't worry that it's a little bit warped from the packaging. It's 40 sheets, 5.8 inches by 8.25 inches. And I think that's like a 4. I'm not sure. And then I got these eraser pencils, which I've never used before, but I'm excited to try out. You can sharpen them up to a really fine point if you need a really precise erasing. I thought that was kind of neat. And then I got some Zig Art and Graphic Twin markers. These are water-based, but they have a brush nib and a little bullet nib. Well, actually it's like a long bullet nib. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. And this color is baby blue. And I got some Brevilier's Cretacolor oil pencil pocket set. And some nice brown tones. I've never used oil pencils, I don't think. I'll have to play around with those and see what the difference between oil pencils and graphite pencils are. Maybe you can blend them easier. So I'll play around with those. And then I got another Zig Art and Graphic Twin in English lavender color. They're really gorgeous colors. And I got some recycled colored pencils by Tombow. I'm not sure what it says on the top there. A Scholar Kneaded Eraser by Prismacolor. Just your standard kneaded eraser. I don't think there's anything special about it besides the awesome green color. K-U-M pencil sharpener. I've actually had one of these before. They sharpen up to a really fine point, so that's awesome. And then my favorite item of the box is a Spectra AD marker. It's a alcohol-based marker, kind of like a Copic marker. It's got the chisel nib and the brush nib. Yay! I love it when alcohol markers have the brush nib. It's my favorite type. It just makes blending so much easier. And the color that it came in is rose petal. So gorgeous. And then this Ironlak permanent marker in 0.4 millimeters. Light, fast, quick drying, waterproof. Always a good thing. Sketchbox sticker comes with every box. I'll probably just stick that on my Fabriano sketchbook. And I got 2 charcoal pencils. Excuse me. Which I probably won't use that often, honestly. Just because I prefer graphite pencils. Charcoal is a little bit messy. And then I got these Derwent Blender and burnisher pencils, which I've heard of a blender pencil before, but I had never heard of a burnisher pencil. So I'm not sure what that does. Excuse me. Then I got some Kuretake Zig Real Brush pens, and the Real Brush aspect of it is that they actually have bristles instead of a felt tip, which is really neat. You can get really, really fine lines with them, and I believe they're also water-based, like the Zig Art and Graphic Twin markers as well. Excuse me. And there's the colors. The colors are light brown, dark pink, olive green, and deep blue. The only thing I don't really like about them is that it's hard to tell when the cap's on. It doesn't like make a distinctive click like a lot of markers do, but that's the only downside that I've found so far. Like this nice little carrying case. And then I didn't see any like description card about the items. I know some prescription art boxes have those, but I guess Sketchbox doesn't do that. So if you're watching someone from Sketchbox, it'd be nice to have a description card of all items included. And now I do some swatches. Play around with the items, see how they work. Excuse me. So first I try out the Zig Art and Graphic Twin markers. They do dry a little bit darker than the color on the cap, but it's not a huge difference. Well, I guess the blue dries. The difference in the blues is pretty drastic, but the purple stays pretty true to the cap color. I'm sorry, English lavender. So fancy. I wasn't as fond of the bullet tip end, but that's just a personal preference. I do love the brush end. And then I tried the Ironlak pen, and it doesn't work completely. Well, that first line had some ink, but it came dried out. So I emailed Sketchbox, but I haven't heard anything back from them yet. And someone did comment on a different video that I was watching about the Sketchbox saying they got the same item and it was also dried out for them. So hopefully not everyone that got the Ironlak pen got a dried out one, but we'll see. Hopefully they can send me a replacement, like some item that's similar if their Ironlaks are all dried out. Because that sucks. And my favorite item, Spectra AD marker. I've never heard of this brand before, but I was very eager to try it out. And their chisel nib is actually a little bit different than Copic markers. It's like tapered to the longer point. So you can supposedly do like 3 different lines with it. Line lengths. Widths, I should say. Weights. And the color is pretty similar to Copic markers color RV01, if you're curious about that. I'll try these Kuretake Clean Color Real Brush nib pens. I never know when to say pen or when to say marker. I think these would be considered a brush. I'm not sure. But as you can see, you can get some really varied line weights. Um, so those should be really fun for inking drawings or making like little patterns. I'd say their color, the colors that were on the bottom of the brushes were pretty accurate to the actual color. The yellow, well, the light brown and the olive green are slightly darker than what the color on the bottom of the brush is. And the deep blue is very dark, almost black, which I kind of like. And a 2B and a 6B charcoal pencil. Again, I probably won't use these very often, if at all, really. I do have one charcoal drawing that I did when I was in school that I really liked. So maybe I can try to mimic something like what I did. If anyone got different items and wants to do a trade-sies, let me know. I would be willing to trade the charcoal pencils and the Brevalier Cretacolor oil pencils because I don't think I will use those very often. I do prefer markers right now, and I do really like the color pencil set that they got. They gave me in the set. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you want to trade some stuff. So here I'm trying the burnisher, and what it is it adds a slight shine to pencil drawings and colored pencil drawings. It can also act as a wax resist, so if you want to lay down the burnisher first and then go over it with pencils, it won't, well, it will go over a little bit, but it won't completely go over the parts that you lay down the burnisher, which is kind of cool. And then the blender is a blender as described. I do really like the blender with colored pencils more so than the charcoal. So if you like make kind of messy lines with colored pencil, you can blend them out smoother with the blender. Yeah. And here are the oil pencils. And the kneaded eraser. I'm not a huge fan of kneaded erasers either. I don't know. You can get them to a really fine point, but then they just smush back into a blob. So I prefer stiffer erasers. I guess you could try to get some texture with them as well. Alright. Yeah, I like the color though. I'm going to speed this up a little bit for you guys. I just make a little gradient of all the colors. I do wish there was a few more of the lighter brown colors in the set. Because they did come with a lot of dark browns, it seemed like, which I guess you could do some like darker skin tones with them, or use them for some animals. But I don't see myself using these very often. they did blend together rather well. I'd say they blend blended together better than a regular color pencil, so I think that's the oil pencil quality of them, that they do blend really well. And then I do the same thing with the colored pencils. I'm assuming that the wood around them is the recycled part, not the actual part, because each of the wood casings around them is a slightly different color. They're not all the same, which I really like. And the colors are actually really vibrant, so I like these pencils a lot. And then I just kind of roll them because I like watching the wood grain change. And here I'm trying the Koom pencil sharpener, even though I've used them before. They have two blades on them, so when the first blade goes dull, you can unscrew it and replace it with second blade. Although the blades stay sharp for a really long time. The first one that I have, I haven't replaced the first blade yet, and I've had it for at least a year, so they stay sharp for a really long time. Boop. And you get the difference from the packaged sharpened to the Koom sharpened. It's a lot sharper. And I just try some lettering. I'm pretty novice letterer, but I'm trying to learn. So pretty. So disappointed that this pen doesn't work. I'm curious to know how many people got dried out ones and how many people got ones that actually work. So leave a comment below if you got the Sketchbox grab box and you got this pen and if it's dried out or not. And also leave in the comments if you did get a dried out marker, if you were able to contact Sketchbox and get a replacement or not. And I'll let you guys know when I hear back from them if they were able to replace mine or not. So here I'm just using the blending pencil to blend the colored pencils, and it works out really well. Although when I went back with the black over the tan, I'm like, oops, and it got really dark right there. But with lighter, like the same tone colors together, works out really well. Just don't go dark to light if you want to have that light area stay light. I didn't think about that. And then I tried the burnisher pencil, and it does make it shiny, but I don't see myself really using it for that purpose a whole lot. I want to try it out as the wax resist at some point. And it does kind of blend the colors together a little bit as well, just not as much as the blending pencil. Here's a closer look at all the swatches. That spec pink is so pretty. Alright, so I'm going to do a quick sketch for you guys using some of the items from the box. I'm not going to use all of them, just most of the pens and the colored pencils. So I'll leave it here, and I hope you guys enjoy, and have a good rest of your day. Bye!